Hello, my lovely ladies. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Isabel, and in this video, we are going to be talking about jealousy and envy in dating and in relationships. So, I wanted to talk about this for a while because it has come up quite a bit in my one-on-one coaching. You guys know, if you want to have a one-on-one goddess check-in with me, the information is in the description, and this is where I speak with you ladies one-on-one, and we work together to improve your dating life and personal life as well. So if you're interested in that, that is in the description. And also, if you are interested in my online dating course where I take you step by step on online dating, that is setting up your profile, choosing your photos, helping you choose the kind of men, what to look out for, all of these wonderful things. If you are interested in that, that is in the bio. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because this has come up quite a bit when just speaking one-on-one with some of you ladies. And the reason why I feel like this is important to talk about is because I feel like it's very common and something that kind of everybody kind of goes through. And the earlier we nip it in the butt and figure it out, the better, especially when you're dating. So some people really don't think about this that much. They don't think that they are the jealous type or the envious type. But like I said, this comes up quite a bit. And I want to put it in context for you. So sometimes when you get into a relationship and you are, speaking with the guy or you're getting to know him or whatever like that, you may feel the urge that you want to, look into his past and see who he was with before, or, just kind of using it as a comparison, like, oh, how do I match up with his past or what he has done in his past? And sometimes, that may surprise you, right? Sometimes we look at the past and we're thinking, oh my God, how could this person be attracted to me and this other person? Like, we're vastly different. And sometimes that is in a good way, and sometimes that is in a bad way. It's just depending on what you find to be good and what you find to be bad. For some women, if the woman is not, say, as leveled up as she is, she may feel like this may be a good thing, like, oh, I'm better than her, I look better than her. Or some women may think that's a bad thing, where it's like, oh, like, how did he like get me then if he's dating, a girl that looks like that? And I feel like that right there, like that beginning is the beginning of the end when it comes to jealousy and envy. Because when you compare yourself to a guy's past, when you're looking at the girl that he used to be with or a woman that he used to, love, or, was in deep relationship with it, and you think that I need to level myself up against her, that is the issue. Because most of the time people are with people for completely different reasons, and there's really no comparison. And obviously, if the guy is sitting there and he's like trying to compare you to his ex, then that's obviously a red flag, and you shouldn't even be dealing with someone like that. But if you're looking at his past and you're really, in competition with a woman who you don't even know, or, the woman, maybe you're the woman in the past and you're looking to the woman in his current and feeling like, oh my God, like, how could he be with her and stuff like that? That's the problem. Because what you're essentially doing is trying to, you really are just putting yourself up in this competition for this man's approval that really doesn't matter and you really shouldn't be doing. Because for me, it's never been like, oh, I can get him, or, he likes me more than the next person. Like, I find that to be very immature and not realistic. Because again, with these men, something that you probably have noticed already is that they will do things that don't make any sense. And obviously, like, if his taste was a certain way, and or he was with this person for a certain reason, that has nothing to do with you. But I feel like this comes up like so much that it's like, why are we focusing in on this? So I'll give you guys an example. One of my friends, she was dating she was dating this guy. She's not dating him anymore. And he, was dating another woman prior to her. He dated other women prior to her. But one of the women that he was dating prior to her, she was a stripper. And my friend, found this out and was like, oh my God, he was like dating a stripper. Like, oh my God, like, why would he do that? Like, like, how could he date a woman like that? Like, just really like putting her down, at the same time like making it seem like this woman is like low class because she's a stripper, and how could he date someone like this and then date someone like me? And I'm like, do you not know, like, men do not judge women the same way they act like they judge women? So I have to break this down, because this is something that I feel like we're not really being honest about. And if we are, and especially the men, then it will be clear to a lot of women to stop doing this. So women have heard men all over these internet streets talking about how, we want virgins, and we want women to be pure, and we want to know body count and all of these things, right? All of those things that they try to put out there with these, like, Christian morals, or, whatever religious morals they want to, back behind, and they act like they want this like perfect, pristine woman. I want to be clear with you ladies, that is so far from the truth. Men do not care as much about what a woman's doing sexually as much as they try to put it out there that they do. That is not the truth. And I'm telling you, it's not the truth, because I've seen it time and time again, where these, strippers, escorts, sex workers, all of these women have no problem getting a guy, being in a relationship with a guy, or even getting married. That's the thing. A lot of these guys want to make it seem like those women are not serious women. They're just women that we play with. They're just women that are this. It's not the truth. Men do not care about how many women have been with. They just, want to use it as a form of control. And this is something that they do just to make it seem like, oh yeah, we want purity, we want this, but they don't, because there are so many times where a woman could be, in her like 30 years old, right? Or 29 years old, and she's a virgin. And if she tells a guy that she's a virgin, he's going to be looking a little side eye like, oh, like, why hasn't it happened yet? Were you in any relationship? He's wondering, why are you a virgin, right? So anytime they try to put this, oh yeah, like we like this, we like that. No, you don't. No, you don't. And it's okay. I think we've been brainwashed in our society to think that there's only one type of way of being, one type of way of, existing in this world. And if we don't fit into this box, then, the world ends. But that's just not the reality. And when men act like this, and they put this out, and they call women, bad names if they feel like she's, promiscuous or anything like that, that is the way that these women who are not like that use against women who are like that. And I feel like that is something that we need to realize that is happening, is because men have brainwashed other women to think that this woman is less than in everybody's eyes because of XYZ, when in reality, the man does not care. And you will always see this when a man, he will be trying to hit on a woman, regardless if she's, a sex worker, regardless if she's a stripper, regardless of whatever her occupation may be, he will try to hit on her. But as soon as she turns him down, then he will go and start calling her names and start trying to make her feel less than. But in reality, that is not how he feels. He wants her, but he just, feels like, oh, let me degrade her. So then when women encounter other women who are, in these industries, they feel like it's appropriate for them to go, and judge them as well, the same way that they heard that men are judging them, because you'll never get a man, because that's what these guys are claiming. You'll never get a man to take you serious. You're not someone who's serious. You're a party girl. So when they hear that the person that they're dating is interested or was in a relationship with a woman who does, these things, then they feel like, wait, what is going on? Aren't you supposed to feel like she's, not serious? Why were you serious about her? And it's like, it was never about that. And we need to understand that as women, like, you can't just judge women in this patriarchal society. And I hate to get all on that, but it is so true. Like, this society is not as pure and clean as we try to make it out to be. People are into different things. People, are open to different things. And most of the time it is men. Most of the time men will not care. They will not care about a woman's past. And this idea about, body count and stuff like that, it does not matter. And honestly, no guy is really ever asking that question, especially if he, likes you, like that's not even a question that I think a guy would ask anybody, unless he's like super immature or he's like obsessed with these internet streets. So anyways, when you going back to the topic of jealousy and envy, so like my friend, she saw this, and I had to break it down like I did with you ladies, is like, don't sit here and judge this woman who you do not know. You do not know their relationship, and you're automatically putting yourself as, this higher pedestal than this woman who you don't know, just because, you feel like she's not living her life, or she looks the same way, or all of these things, because you will get your feelings hurt every single time. And when you do that, it's like you're trying to win a prize. And you ladies know that I am never, ever advocating for men to be the prize, or for, you to be looking at men as, oh my God, like he chose me out of everybody. Like it had to be me. Like, oh my God, I'm so special because he could have been with anybody and he chose me. Like, girl, give me a break. Do not think that, because in the reality, if it's not you, it will be somebody else. Like, we need to get off of that whole idea of, men are choosing us out here. Like, it's not that deep. And I always tell you guys, I don't care if the guy has money. I don't care if he's like super successful and all of that. It will still be harder for him to find a partner than it is for you. You need to realize that. A woman is way more approached, way more, lusted and looked after. Women are basically what people are looking at and want to be with. So if you're looking at a man and you're thinking like, oh my God, he has so many options, like you've already messed up. You've already put yourself to become jealous. You've already made yourself in competition with, invisible women, or women who don't even know you, women who are not even, interested in what you guys got going on. And this is the reality. This is why I don't believe in like women like coming to other women as a woman, like, oh, let me tell you this, let me tell you that. Like, unless it's like gonna save my life, like probably don't do that. Like, because at the end of the day, it becomes like vicious, and it becomes a situation where you don't need to be interfering in what people's relationships were in the past, or what people's relationships are going on in the future. I believe in moving on. I believe in, just getting what you want out of life and not worrying about other people's lives. So I think that this is like pretty much like a lot of what I wanted to say. Let me just double check. I did like write notes. As you guys know, I always do that. There's not many of you guys here because I did not plan this and let you guys know. I just kind of hopped on, and I wanted just to kind of put this out here because I was on a call with a client and it kind of came up again, and I just had to explain it. And I was like, you know what? Let me just put this video out there. just for the ladies who really are struggling with this and struggling with the guy's past and struggling with the things that they are finding out about a person and, you know, the women that they were with. And this is always happening where, you know, women are going out and they see other women and they feel insecure about it. Like there are so many times where I tell you guys all the time, like I would go out and I'll be walking past a group of women, and I'm like the type of person, like if I'm walking past you, especially if you're a woman, I'm probably gonna smile, you know, or say good morning, or, you know, just kind of give a nice greeting or a smile. And there have been plenty of times when women will just like look at the ground when I'm coming, and I always find that very awkward and weird. And it could be just because they're awkward, you know, like not everybody's very social. I'm not the most social person, but I just, you know, always feel like it's good to acknowledge other women. But I feel like that's the same thing like with like Black people. Like if I am walking past like a Black person, whether it's male or female, I'm probably going to look and smile. And it's just kind of like innate. And honestly, I think it's just really nice to do. But when I do that, and I find that there are so many girls that will look down on the ground instead of like looking at me or, you know, greeting me. And I'm always, you know, thinking like, why not be more secure? Why not, you know, show up and look at people in their eye and be this confident, beautiful woman that you are? And I always see like the most confident and beautiful women, they're always smiling, they're always looking people in the eye, they're not afraid to take up space. And I think that's important for all of us just as women to know, like, you can be friendly, you can with other women, you don't have to be in competition with them, you don't have to be envious of them, you don't have to like put yourself in competition with this person who you don't know what's going on. And don't do that for men. Like that is not the place. Like use competition for sports, use competition for the workplace, use competition for where it's appropriate, but don't use it in your personal relationships because that's how they get ruined. There were so many women that I grew up with that were in crazy competition with me and my sister, and it never worked out for them. It never worked out for them because I honestly never felt like envious or jealous of other people, only because like I've always been in like my own world and kind of living my own life and thinking about, oh, what do I want? What do I want to do? What, you know, just kind of thinking of things like that. I'm always thinking of things like that. So when other women are around me, it's like I want, you know, great women around me, women who are positive and uplifting, and women who I can, you know, admire in a way, rather than women who I feel like, oh, like I don't like her because of, you know, such and such, and I'm gonna, you know, gossip about her, or I'm going to feel envious of her, or I'm gonna try to do this. Like there are so many women out here that will befriend women and try to get with their man, or befriend women and like try to steal her friend groups. Like I've had women do that to me, and I feel like that is just so unnecessary, especially when you're realizing like what is the prize, like what are you gonna get, like what does it matter? And if it's for this guy, then you're wasting your time, because the same way that he can be with you is the same way he can be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go to this other person. Like never think that, oh, because like there are so many women who are even married. I'm telling you this, even married women, they will sit there and be jealous of single women and think that, oh, I'm better because I'm married. Like, girl, if you don't sit down, like a lot of those kind of things like come up, and I'm always just like flabbergasted by it. Like, oh my God. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. But yeah, I feel like that just needs to be put out there for all of you ladies who may be struggling with this, who may find other people in competition with you and you don't know what's going on. It's a deep level of insecurity in themselves because you're not completely okay with yourself, and you have to look at other people to feel more secure within you. So if you're sitting here and you judging other women because of the things she's done in her past or the things she's doing today, and you feel like, you know, this is now a personal attack to you, which it's not, because she's living her own life, and you're just feeling like, oh my God, like this isn't, you know, the way that I would do this, or this isn't the way that, you know, he should be dating or he should be doing, or his relationship with this person now invalidates the relationship I have with him. Like, this is where you need to check yourself. You need to look at it. You need to reevaluate. You need to really just say to yourself, why am I truly acting this way? Why do I truly feel this way? What is it about me? Because it's not that other person. It's not even the guy. It is you. And it destroys your relationship, because people don't like jealous people. If you continue to tell a guy like, oh, why did you do this? What is going on here? Let me check your phone. Let me see who you text. Let me do this. Let me do this. You are setting yourself up for so much stress. You are setting yourself up with so much heartache and pain for no apparent reason. Like, I don't 100% agree or disagree with like going through a guy's phone or, you know, checking his past out or anything like that. Like, okay, if you feel like it's necessary, then go ahead, but just be prepared for what you might find. You know, like, if you know that what you find here could either strengthen your relationship or it can blow it up, and you're okay with that, go ahead. Go ahead. I do not believe that, you know, every guy cheats and you're going to find something every single time. Like, I don't believe that. I think that, you know, certain people have that same experience with the same type of guy, but it's because they're choosing the same kind of guy over and over and over again. But I do think that a lot of the times we go looking for things because we've already felt like there might be something going on. And if you go out there and you go searching for something that you already feel is not 100% right, you're probably going to find it. And then you have to act accordingly, right? Like, in that case, it's not the person's fault who, you know, they're cheating on or talking to, or whatever the situation is that you may find. It's more about you and that person. And I think that's really important for, you know, you to figure out. I know in my own situation, like when I was first in a relationship with my husband, and he obviously had a past, he dated women in the past. And I think like one woman, maybe two women, the one he was recently with, prior to me that he was with, she felt like she still had access to reach out to him, right? And another woman felt the same way. Now, a lot of other people would have probably felt like, oh my God, like she's being so disrespectful, da 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 da. Like, how could she like reach out to him? But in the reality of it is that before he met me, he could have never set a boundary with women in his past, and they had access to him whenever. You know, that was what the rule was in his past. He wasn't dating anybody seriously where he felt like, oh, I need to put a wall up with women in my past. So when women in his past reached out to him and said, hey, like, how are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You know, he had to make it clear, like, hey, I'm in a relationship right now. Like, I'm in a relationship, not right now, because we ended up getting married, but it was like, hey, I'm in a relationship now, and, you know, XYZ. And that's, you know, the thing that we talked about early on, where it was like, okay, this woman is reaching out to you, and he's like, how would you like me to respond to this? And we had that open conversation, and I was like, well, why do you need to talk to them? That's your past. And he was like, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna cut off my past. And that is something else that maybe something that we have to talk about a little bit more. Is a lot of the time men are not, hold on, give me a second. So, okay. So another thing that I did want to bring up is that a lot of the time these men are not letting go of their past the way that you think that they are. a lot of times men keep the door open to their past and they act as if, you know, everything is all good. Like, it's fine that, you know, this person that I dated before can still reach out to me. Whereas though with women, for me at least, it's like, if I dated you in the past and we are not something today, don't reach out to me. Like, you will not get a response. Like, nobody in my past can get obviously I'm married, and trust me, they have tried. I've had exes, numerous of them, who reached out to me, and I'm like, where did you come from? And then I hit them with the, you know, either it was when I was engaged, or, you know, when I'm already married, and I'm like, you know, I'm engaged or I'm married. And, you know, I've been with my husband for 4 years. We've been married for about 3 years now. And so it's like, people will still try you. And there's like one of my exes who did not get the hint, and he continued to reach out to me even when I told him I'm engaged. Well, I told him when I was in a relationship. I told him when I was engaged. I told him, you know, when I was married, and I blocked him, and he's, you know, reached out from different phone numbers. And it's just like, this guy is like actually like somebody who has something to lose too. Like, and he just would not stop reaching out to me. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, you have no respect for like my marriage, what I'm telling you. You just continue to reach, like, I think you're unwell. But at that point, it's just like, you know, what can you do with someone like that? Like, if you're blocking them, and they're reaching out by burner numbers and they're continuing to mess with you, it's because men do not respect relationships the same way women do. So a lot of the time you may think like, oh my God, this woman is, you know, being thirsty or doing this or doing that. And the reality of it is your man is probably the one reaching out to her. You know, she's feeling like he's the nuisance. And you're thinking like, oh my God, like, why would he be reaching out to her? And the whole time he's a nuisance. And I think this is funny because like there's like saying out in social media, like basically like, oh, like, wouldn't it be so crazy like if you look at your man's DMs and you see him hitting up a bunch of women who's ignoring him? And that is so true. Like, a lot of the time that is the case. And so women are being jealous of other women and doing all these things when in reality it's the guy. So, you know, I just wanted to put that out there just so, you know, you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I'm in competition with this other woman. And like I said, I don't care if he's, you know, wealthy. I don't care if he's good looking. I don't care if any of that. You're not in competition with any woman out here. It's literally you versus you always, and focus on you and the person you're in a relationship with. And if you feel like, you know, this person has somebody else in this relationship that is encroaching, and you feel like this, you know, is inappropriate, speak up and say something to that person. And if they don't rectify the situation, then you should already know, like, they're probably not serious, or they, you know, still want to be with that person. And that's pretty much like why men will keep in contact with other women or stay looking at other women, is because they are still interested in her. And if they're not, and if they, you know, let go of it, then be okay with it, be happy with it. And obviously if you find something that you know is making you feel uneasy, I always suggest having the conversation. It's better to just talk to him and, you know, see what's going on. I say this all the time. Like, when I felt in my relationship like that something wasn't okay, I just brought it to him, like, straight up. I didn't wait. I didn't try to assume things. I didn't do anything. I just brought it to him. Like, I'm not going to hold on to this problem. This is your issue. This is what you have going on. Here you go. What's going on? You know, and I think that's the best way to deal with those things. And just knowing that other women are not your competition. So, like I said, this was pretty last minute. But if you guys want to chat or have anything to say in the chat, go right ahead. Like, I just only really have to go like eat lunch because I haven't eaten yet and I am pretty hungry, but I'm willing to stay. If anybody's here, like, again, if nobody's here, that's fine, because I know you guys will catch the replay, and yeah, we'll be in the comments anyways. So let me just double check that I went through the points that I wanted to make in this video, because I haven't been on here. I want to say like 3 weeks, and I was supposed to, but life be lifing, and yeah. But I am always here for you, ladies, especially if you want a one-on-one goddess check-in with me. That is what I do most of the time when I'm not here. I am always in contact with you, ladies, and we're always working together, and that's what I really appreciate about the ladies who I have here and the women who work on with me one-on-one, and all the growth that we are able to accomplish. So yeah, definitely, if you're interested in that, you can just reach out to me. And I think like one more thing I want to say about the topic is a lot of the time when you're jealous or you're envious, it doesn't make you look good to the person who you're trying to look good for. Whether that's the man, whether that's friends, whether that's, just random people. It's important to know that like most people look at that as a negative, and you just seem a little more unhinged. You just seem a little more like, bothered to the point where nobody feels like it's justified, especially when you go on the attack mode on somebody's past. So, because you have to remember, like, this person may have meant something to this person, and you're basically attacking them for no reason, especially if you're vocal about your feelings about this person. Like I said, with my friend who was dating a guy who dated a stripper, she was very vocal, like, whoa, like, why would you do that? Da, 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 da. And it's like, this doesn't give you more points just because you feel morally superior to this woman. Like, obviously he's not judging her for that, and so why are you, he's not looking at it in the same way that you're looking at it. And if it doesn't align with you morally, if you feel as though that you can't date a person who was with, this person who did this and who did this and who did this, then don't date them. You don't have to attack the other woman for it. And I think that's, a really important thing. Like, women are not your enemy. And if you go and you treat women like they're your enemy, then you're going to get some real enemies. And I'm not saying this like, oh, you need to be a girl's girl or anything like that. But I'm mostly on women's side. Like, I'm not on men's side. That's why I don't even believe in like women taking dating advice from men, because they don't date men and they lie. Like, men will lie. Everything they say is usually a lie, especially what they say to women about dating, because they're just saying these things that sound good. Like, men are very good at throwing fluff at you and saying things that sound good, or saying things that make other men happy, especially online. We see that, like, men catering to other men's feelings, and they're lying, right? And if you're listening to women who date men, you will probably get a better perspective on what that relationship dynamic is, because you don't need to be a man to know how a man's going to treat a woman, right? You can experience it. You experienced it. Other women have experienced it. And so don't try, like, I think a lot of women are just, so male-centered, where they, only look to men for validation. They only look to what men think, as validating themselves, when in reality, women are the tastemakers. Women are the ones who are getting these men to do certain things. And if you sit here and you only listen to men, and you could only take, advice from men, then you are going to be led astray every single time. This is why men have been able to lie to women about purity culture, and pushing this idea that if you're not like this, if you're not perfect, if you're not a size 0, if you're not this, if you're not that. Dude, I live in the real world. There are women who judge other women because, like, they're overweight or something like that. And they're like, oh, she could never get a man. Like, or how did she get a man? And I'm still single, and I'm in good shape, and I'm, a fitness baddie, and all of these things. And it's like, girl, these guys do not care. Do you not realize that they do not care? Like, if you're doing all of that for a man, good luck, because they don't care. Like, I live in a nice neighborhood, and most of the wives, some of them, are fit girlies, and some of them are just moms. They got the mom body, but they got a nice house. They got a nice car, they got a nice bank account, they got their kids, they got, all the things that so many of these fit girlies want. And I'm saying this as a girl who's fit and works out and does all those things, but that's not going to decide whether or not, a man likes you or you get married or any of these things. So when we sit here and we judge other women thinking that, oh, because I look better or my hair looks better or, like I'm prettier, how could he? And it's like, yeah, why are you, how could you, And so I just wanted to put that out there because I'm like, you would be sadly mistaken of how many beautiful women get overlooked for other women. And it's not just because like, oh, men want an average woman or anything like that, because that's obviously clearly not the case. But it's also because of energy, like the energy that you bring, the confidence that you bring, the vision that you have for your life, what you're able to manifest, what you're not able to manifest. And the more that you limit yourself and you put yourself up against other women, the less you're going to be able to manifest the dreams that you truly want to happen and manifest in your own life. So I think that's important for all women to just be mindful of that, because you can end up having a terrible experience, having, men treat you terribly because you are jealous, because you are envious. And men kind of can be like interested in that because he feels like, oh, she makes me feel like, I'm somebody. So let me just drag her through the mud even more, right? Like, let me just, give her hell because it's boosting my ego. And you're really getting nowhere with the guy. So just remember that, like, when you're trying to pin yourself up against other women, what are you doing it for? What is it accomplishing? Who's truly the prize here? What are you going to win? This guy's affection or people's affection? It's not worth it. And it's not worth you, because you're really eating up at yourself and you're showing other people how insecure you truly are. So that is basically all I wanted to put out there. Obviously, I can talk at length about this because this is obviously something that is continuing to go on, probably going to go on for the rest of our lives and in the future. But I just wanted to say that you do not have to look at every woman as your competition. You do not have to think that just because, this man was with this person, you're better or you're worse because of it. It's never that. And you never need to look at other women and feel like, oh, because she's like this, then I have to be like this because I, want that. Or how could she get this kind of lifestyle because like I look better than her. Like I see, and this is no shade, but I have seen women that couldn't hold a candle to the best of them living the best life ever. And that's when I tell you guys, like, this idea that, men have given to women of like how a woman should look, how she should speak, how she should, present herself, how she should do blah, 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 blah. It's a lie. It's a lie. And that's why you will see most women who talk like that, who say those things, it's about personal leveling up. It's not about the guy. The guy comes in because you're confident. So you could be overweight. You could be not the most attractive. You could be, all of the things that they say that you can't be and still get the guy if you are confident within yourself. And that's the reality. All this other stuff online that people push and do all those things, that's just not the truth. And it may be that, maybe more women who are in shape get the guy, but it's mostly because she's more confident. Confidence is key. Confidence, charisma, those will get you further than any, makeup, perfume, weight loss. Your confidence and charisma will get you there. Now, if you need those things to get your confidence and charisma there, use it. you know, great, perfect. But it's not that gets you the guy. And we shouldn't even be, you know, trying to get the guy. The guy should be trying to get you. Remember where you're at. Remember where you stand. Like, you are the prize. You are the person that the men want. This idea that, oh my God, women are lonely, women are sad. There's a men loneliness epidemic, not a woman's loneliness epidemic. Birth rates are down because women are choosing better, not because men. You know, that's like, we have to realize that us as women have way more control. We have way more power than we think we do. And if we sit here and we're putting ourselves up against other women and we're trying to compare ourselves and be envious to other women, you are just helping out the patriarchy. You are just helping out men and giving them a reason to do you dirty. So yeah, like I said, I'm always on the woman's side, because there are so many times where, you know, I have friends and I have clients, they're like, oh my God, I was talking to this guy. I was like, oh, what was, you know, and I do ask, you know, what was his past relationship like? If they've been dating for a while, I'm like, why didn't that work out? What's going on? And if he goes on and says negative stories about his ex, that she was this, she was that, she was this, I'm no. You're lying, because you was with this woman for a while. And yes, there are terrible women out there. But what did you do? What did you do? There should be accountability on both sides. So with my husband, like, something that I appreciated about him, because he never spoke bad about his past. He just said it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the right time. You know, it wasn't the right person. I was immature. I was into other things. You know, I was building my career. I wasn't taking these things serious. She's a great person, but wasn't for me. That's the kind of guy that you should probably be interested. But if the guy's saying, oh my God, she's so crazy, she was this, da, 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 yeah, I would be worried. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the topic. You guys, I know it was last minute, but I'm happy that I did this video and that I was able to check in with you ladies. Leave a comment down below, give this video a like, a thumbs up. And yeah, if you want to reach out to me, everything's in the description, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.